What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back. Starchasers are back. Yes, we back, y'all. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Starchasers. Girls talk ball. You know, it's your girl Craven Cowboys. You know, I got my girl, as usual, Star in the building. What's going on, Star, aka my sis? What's going on?
What's up, Mickey? What's up, everybody in the chat? Glad to see everybody tonight. We are NFC East Champs. So, wow, I think 3 weeks ago.
Hey,
I don't
right.
Anybody?
Yeah, go ahead, sis. No, go ahead, sis.
People was losing hope. It was looking like after the Eagles beat Buffalo, everybody was like, they gonna win the East. You know what I'm saying? And then the Eagles lose. What was it? They lose how many of their? They lose 5 of their last, or 4 of their last 5.
Well,
so now it's 5 of their last 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
now they're 1-5. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're 1-5 because they
it's crazy just to see. You know, they always talk about us choking in the moment, or us having self-implosion and things like that.
Hold on.
You say, can you hear me?
I think my headphones. Hold on.
All right, well, let me go ahead and let's start. I hand her headphones, but yeah, as they always talk about, Cowboys having self-inflicted wounds, at critical moments. It's just crazy to see, just the Eagles just kind of have self-inflicted wounds, kind of just implode amongst themselves. We see, unfortunately, Jalen Hurts go out. We see AJ Brown go out. Unfortunately, at bad times. I didn't exactly see the injuries.
Jalen Hurts went out.
But yeah, they were saying his I don't know. I think second quarter, his hand or his finger popped out. I think like his middle finger or something like that. Yeah, and I think they brought in Mariota. Yeah, I think they brought in Mariota like late second quarter or just before halftime, something like that. So yeah, 2. And I think they said also Cam Jurgens went out. I think with something happening to his like an eye injury, and as well as there's not their safety. What's his name? Blankenship. I think he went out too with a groin. So they had some major injuries, and prayers to them, for those things that happen so late in the season
that's horrible over there. Damn,
Yeah.
I feel a little bit bad for the Eagles, and I hate the Eagles. But I said today, listen, I hate the Lions more than I hate the Eagles. So that's
I just saw that tweet from you. That's crazy. I
can't see the Lions. Like I was like, I didn't really know that I hated y'all, but y'all seem to. This shit that y'all pulling, I'm like, the Eagles ain't never cried like this over no call.
Right. The next week, they got the lineman reporting that's eligible to catch the
like that. It's like
the old ex who won't let it go. Like, really? It's a whole new week and you still don't
let it go. Like, they're just a bunch of bitches. I was like, fuck Dan Campbell because y'all play dirty. Y'all try to injure Dak. Aiden Hutchinson,
right.
All of them. I don't give a f about none of them. Like I don't appreciate that. Like,
and you tried to, and for you to, I mean, I guess you had to admit to it because I'm sure everyone was wondering about it. But you admit to trying to confuse us, to have your lineman go to the line. So
literally, and then you got Jason Kelsey. Like, shut the fuck up, Jason. Sorry, excuse my language, but shut the f up, Jason Kelsey.
Please.
The guy that you've been cheating for I don't know how long. Y'all's whole scheme last year was off of manipulations of NFL rules.
Correct.
And you're the one that needs to be going and like, yeah, actually, it was a legal formation, and boy.
And my thing is like, why? If all situations that y'all even need to speak up on it, then you just take a whooping to the Cardinals. Y'all need to be getting. Y'all need to worry. You need to worry about what y'all need doing over there instead of worry about what's going on with us.
Exactly. You know how many controversial calls Philly has gotten.
Right.
Y'all played the Dolphins, and the Dolphins.
Y'all have gotten. Mm-hmm.
Like, just stop it.
Like, of all people be speaking up and saying, of course they're right. Like, and then like I saw you tweet out earlier about today about Dan Campbell having his players still in there, and even after, unfortunately, after the Porter injury. And that was so sad to see.
They don't have nothing. I'm like, they don't got nothing to play for. People like, they can play for the second seed. There's no difference between the second and the third seed.
Literally, you're still hosting a home game. So what are you?
You're still hosting a home game. You'll host another home game if you win and the second seed loses.
Right.
Like,
it wasn't to have your players out there and just to piggyback off of that. Not saying I was feeling the same kind of contempt, but I was getting mad at McCarthy further down the stretch in our game. Like, okay, this fourth quarter.
I think he was trying to let Dak.
I know it's early fourth quarter, but I was getting mad. Like that was to me, that was unnecessary. Like I know we were trying to get a drive off, but I don't know what game that was in. We did the same thing, but for us to not get off the field that late in the game, like I need that drive to be like this. I don't need to be taking your time. I need you guys off the field, like period.
You was mad. So I think they was trying to help Dak pad his stats a little bit and tie his. Because if he had one more touchdown, he would have tied his franchise high of 37 touchdowns. So I think they were just trying to let him pad his stats a little bit. But when he didn't get it, Mike was like, all right, get out.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, let's talk about that. Our quarterback, who everybody took a shit on last year because he had 15 interceptions and was like 23-24 touchdowns, which we would have known that ratio would look way different if he actually had gotten to play the whole season. But anyway, we don't even talk about that. So anyway, goes from leading the league.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but even granted this season, Dak had a very slow start because we were getting accustomed to a new offense. So that had something to kind of do with the numbers as well. Exactly.
So it's like you go from leading the league in interceptions. First of all, let's just be clear here. Dak Prescott would have had over 40 touchdowns if we didn't blow out 9 teams this year. If we didn't blow out 9 teams this year, he would have had, who knows, maybe in the 50 touchdowns. But
and sat out multiple fourth quarters.
That's what I'm saying. Like he set out multiple fourth quarters because of all the blowouts. Like that's the only reason why Dak Prescott doesn't have 40 plus touchdowns this year, period.
Right.
And to go from everybody talking about you regress to all of this crazy stuff after he literally broke his hand, had to have surgery. Yep. To lead in the league in touchdowns. And I don't think, because he finished the season with 36. Let me pull up the current touchdown leaders. Let me see. Hopefully StatMuse. But you can keep talking, but hopefully StatMuse.
Yeah, I mean, just to continue talking about Dak, and he's able to connect with a lot of receivers tonight. We saw CD scoring 2 times, making the end zone. And really, I want to speak on, because really early this week, I just seen a lot of, not really attention, but a lot of speak about how Brandon Cooks really has, a very, really, if you will, a monumental really kind of role in this offense. Not only if we get CD going, it gets Cooks going, but getting Cooks going as well, it's kind of like a vice versa effect. It gets CD more opportunities because they kind of gravitate more towards Cooks. We even saw Cooks, I think, if my eyes serve me correct, we saw him kind of getting double teamed kind of a couple times in the game today. So just seeing kind of coverage kind of float back and forth between those two, and then we saw Ferguson finally eating once again. It was really amazing seeing Ferguson getting those shots on the seam, on the outside, just seeing him complete those catches and really just getting back to his yak ability and just making those big plays and just really, like I said, just really seeing our offense kind of just firing an off cylinder once again. Seeing Turpin in the backfield, that's my guy right there. I love Turpin. So
I think in the postseason, I'm calling it right now, in the postseason, expect to see a lot of Turpin and CD in that backfield.
Right.
I think
I agree with you, since we've been seeing a lot in the recent weeks, CD in the backfield.
CD, Mike has said that he was like, because I think in the last press conference, they're like, do you think CD's a lead wide receiver? And Mike was like, what? And he was like, yes. And he's an elite receiver, but he's also elite in the backfield. So I think we can expect to see a lot of that in the playoffs. Like, there is certain things that Mike and Schottenheimer have revealed, but they'll just run it, but you won't see it again.
Exactly. I think I just seen a graphic today saying that CD Lamb, I think they say he leads the league in yards from the slot. I think 600 yards.
He probably leads the league right now in total yardage. Now, I think because him and Tyreek were like neck and neck. Now, granted, Tyreek's probably going to hold it, but CD will be second. But yeah, it looks like Dak he sold it up. He sold up. He's gonna really be the QB leader because
what's the numbers looking like?
Dak has 36. Love already played 32. Purdy didn't play this week. He's done 31. Goff played 30. Mayfield already played 28. Next is Tua Tagovailoa, but Tua only has 28. Tua gonna throw 8, 9 touchdowns today? No.
They playing the Broncos tonight? I don't know about that.
No, they're playing you, so you're not getting it. Mahomes already played, finishing with 27. Allen last to play. He's got 27. You're not about to throw 9 touchdowns tonight. Dak Prescott will be the NFL touchdown passing leader.
Correct. And I don't know if you said, I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't know if you said, but did you say Lamar Jackson on the list? What was his numbers for touchdowns? I wouldn't tell you funny, but I don't know if you said his name.
No, I did not say Lamar Jackson. You know how many passing touchdowns Lamar Jackson has? 24. 24. Ooh, that's the season. 24. That would be how much less than that?
And that's crazy. And we were just talking about how many fourth quarters he set out. But okay, they're just numbers, Star. They don't, numbers don't lie or anything. But it's crazy.
None of these quarterbacks will be touching Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott will lead the league. He'll be first in touchdowns, and I think he'll probably be. I think he's leading in yards right now, but I think after tonight, Tua will probably, unless Tua has a meltdown, Tua will lead in yards. Well, Dak will be right after.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I think I saw earlier today, just kind of watching some pregame stuff that the Buffalo Bills had at least 11 games with 3 sacks or more this season. So Tua under pressure, he's missed some throws. He does take some sacks, so. He could. I'm not saying, like you said, I don't know if he's going to have a meltdown like that, but going a defense like that, that's hungry, that's fighting for that division title, we can see some things. We saw some things in the early window. I don't know if you watched the early window, Star, but and even the late window games, like anything can happen. I saw you tweeting about it, and other people tweeting about it too. That Jags game was insane. Like just seeing the flip flop of this last year.
The Jags,
We saw, I think, last night with the Colts not getting anything going offensively, and then those are your last few calls. It's like, and I'm not saying that I thought that was going to happen with the Cowboys. But we see that's a very possible scenario with no matter who you are. And we always get to talk about it, but you see the other team will get the same criticism, and those are going to be some prime examples tomorrow morning when we're bringing up, imploding, self-implosion situations.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, and then look, so Goff, Dak is likely going to finish third. Yeah, he's going to finish third because I think Tua only has to get like 100 and something yards tonight to beat. Yeah. So, because 516 is what? Hold on, let me do some simple math.
Yeah.
516.
Hey, shout out to everybody in the building joining us, and everybody listening on YouTube, on Twitter. Just make sure you give us a like, give us a retweet if you're listening. We just have giving our post-game thoughts. We just hyped up to see our boys once again win that title of NFC East Championship.
Right.
NFC East Champions.
Yeah, I mean, and when you talk about it, like this game was but it looks like Dak is going to finish third. It'll be Goff.
In yardage, you said?
Huh?
In yardage, you said?
Yeah, he'll finish third in yards. Okay. He'll finish third in yards because everybody else has played. Because right now Goff's leading, but Tua only has to pass 65 yards. He's gonna get that. He only got to pass 65 yards to pass.
He'll probably get that in the first drive or something. The first quarter.
Probably, yeah. And then he only has to pass. Then he only has to get 124 to pass Goff. So Tua will lead, and then it'll be Goff, and then it'll be Dak. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to tell y'all. If Dak does not win MVP, because Lamar Jackson now, you don't even have you have one game over Dak Prescott. What would be the reason to give it to Lamar Jackson?
Right.
Dak's the only quarterback this year that has had 4 games with 4+ touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be leading the league in touchdown passes. Has the best touchdown to interception ratio. And then rest of his stats is either 1, 2, 3.
Right, exactly.
Like these other quarterbacks is maybe 1, then 5, then 10. Then it's like, come on now. But if they don't give Dak MVP or first team All-Pro,
They do not give this man enough credit. Like just like you're saying, Star, the way he played tonight and just really how he played all season, like just for Dak to be able to pull this together and really rally the team together, like and get his playmakers involved. Like you said, we've seen Cooks getting involved, we've seen Tolbert getting involved, like getting these guys confidence up. Even Hendershot, granted it wasn't an offensive seat. Even seeing Hendershot,
let's talk about
special team play, sis.
Let's talk about players. Our players have transcended and peaked at the right time. Let's talk about it on the offensive side of the ball. Like you said, Tolbert, he's been showing up for weeks now.
Right, at very clutch moment.
He's ready. Brandon Cooks and that connection's ready.
Right.
Dak and CD, that connection's ready. Dak and Ferguson, that connection's ready. Then we go today. Tony Pollard decides to have his best game of the year going.
Exactly.
Offensive line, no sacks. TP is a top 12 rusher. He actually made it over 1,000 yards.
Sis, look, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the building, everybody. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for joining our show.
Thank you so much, Boss. If I don't know if you're in the building, Boss, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jay Worthy, my brother in the building. What's up, fam? How you doing?
I appreciate that. But
we appreciate everybody coming through.
It's just crazy, like the connections. Number one, the connections, Dak has got those solidified. Then you move on to the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Lewis playing his best football. Donovan Wilson playing his best. Did you see that? I don't mean to cut you off, but did you see that turnover? When Jay Lou got that first turnover, I'm like, yo, Jay Lou's having a year. Look, shout out to Loki having just a bomb-ass year, man. Jay Lou is really turning it up. And he was on this past week, he was on first, I think it's called First and 10, the Cowboys show, and he was talking about just everything he's been through with the offseason, coming back from an injury, having just really a 180 moment, just being able to turn up once again against the Lions, being able to get an interception. He's from Detroit. And he said he went 3-0 that weekend with the Pistons winning in basketball, and I think another Detroit franchise turning up. Like, he really had a hell of a weekend, and here he comes again with another interception, just really once again making his mark on the game on this defense. Another turnover. Donovan Wilson, 2 turnovers in 2 weeks. Right. Donovan Wilson. Seeing they went through a lot in camp. We see them both went through camp injuries and really just missing a lot, being able to really be able to connect with those guys on defense. And we had those questions coming into the season of whether they'd be able to step up. Dono kind of came in kind of iffy, kind of, I don't want to say missing plays, but we just kind of question we're really going into making those tackles. We didn't see that. Missing tackles, missing angles. He was not. Let's be honest, he wasn't playing good, but for him to start trending up. Right. Like you said, at the right time. At the right time. That's the key. Trending up at the right time. Yeah. Bland hadn't had an interception since the last Washington game. We talked about the last week, Star. We talked about that. We didn't talk about that. We said we think he'll get another one. So he's about turnovers and sacks. Right. Turnovers are huge. He's officially going to lead the league in interception. Yeah. With 9 on the year. I mean, I just don't know what else we could really say, but that the Cards seem to be in our favor and things seem to be right. And literally, Star, the Cards just seem to be, taking care of our rivals, even when us acting, shout out to the Cardinals, Yeah, I mean, and thank you, Bounty Hunter, for subscribing. Yeah, we appreciate you, fam. I mean, the Eagles are having a complete. Okay, I don't mean to cut you off. Since they said he had one against Seattle. That Bland had a pick in the Seattle game. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, he did. You're right. You're right, JC. Yeah. So I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah, appreciate you. But I don't know. Like, it just seems like what you said. Things needed to fall our way. The Eagles are imploding right now. Right. They just, like you said, they're getting hit with injuries bad. They're playing bad. Right. They just got whooped by the Giants at home. The score was like 0-24 at halftime. They're having a full on meltdown.
Correct.
And like we expected the Eagles to fall and slow down because we could see through their wins. It's like you guys are barely winning against bad teams. But I don't think anybody predicted that they would have this full-on, complete meltdown.
Exactly. Like it's just a way that, and not to speak too much on the Eagles organization, but like, and we always talk about how mental mistakes. We were talking about that with our squad last week. Those mental mistakes, just those small mistakes, can have that butterfly effect. We see it having the effect not only on the field but in the locker room. You know, they're making these these big media. AJ Brown's having a conference at his locker. What's he going to say today? Or he's not speaking to the end of the week. It's like. That's kind of, and that's one thing I love about our boys this year, Star. And I kind of see the same thing with not the same thing, but and even with Jamar Chase kind of talking a little bit out the mouth, like guy, like not saying the Bengals didn't have a chance, but you're not really making
a run. Jamar, and it's like, is that the type of stuff you want your receiver saying when your quarterback just took a team-friendly deal, and you talking about I don't know how much he gonna get paid, depending on how much I'm getting paid, like
right.
Like, what kind of energy is that? Like, are you mad at Joe Burrow? You don't believe like you're losing this team? Y'all was just in the Super Bowl. Like, I was just in the AFC Championship last year.
Exactly.
Like, that attitude is weird. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just thank God for the players that we have.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because
also, like you always been saying, Mike McCarthy also just bringing that culture to the room that's not about that one person.
Let's talk about our coach.
Yes, like
3 years.
Right, 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row, y'all. Double-digit wins, 12 wins, back-to-back seasons. And also just not only, and I kind of saw this question kind of posed, and shout out to Boss Cowboy. I saw this question posed in the show the other day about, have we really grown as a team, really capping off at 12 wins 3 years in a row. And I just seeing the team progress, not only, of course, it may not look like progression record-wise, quote unquote, but just seeing the growth of the offense, just seeing how much we're able to actually spread the ball to our playmakers, and that it actually makes sense to them. They're able to connect, like you said, at the right moments, at the right times, to be able to make these big plays. And not only are they making these plays, but they're also learning from the good and also learning from the bad moments as well. We saw Licky making big block,
big block, and I like what they're doing with Lippy because they continue to build his confidence just because he's been key.
Right.
He's blocking in this running game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, even though he had his moment carrying the ball and he kind of wet the bed, what does the good coach do? You accentuate what a player is good at and try to build their confidence. And what has he been killing it at? He's been killing it in the run game. So it's like, keep doing that. Keep using him.
Right.
Keep building up his confidence, letting him know, hey, we trust you. We believe in you. You're making an impact on this team. Like, our coaches, our team, what I wanted to see from our team is that they could go in, they could dominate. And even when Washington was playing hard in that first quarter, right? They blocked Who knows? I don't think Washington probably had blocked the kick all year. But that's what happens when people play the Dallas Cowboys. That's what y'all don't realize. Like, they block a kick. Okay. All right. They're blocking a kick. But you saw the effort that we prevented a touchdown, right? Because they could have scored.
Yes. That was
got 3 points. I think. No, did they get a touchdown or 3 points?
I think they ended up getting 7. I think they ended up tying at 7.
But even so, like, still the effort to say, well, don't just allow them to get a touchdown. Like, try to stop them. So special team stops.
Yeah.
Then tip ball. They're trying to, tip ball ends up in interception. Shouldn't even have been an interception. Even Greg Olsen said you should just put an asterisk into that because that was not Dak's fault. Obviously you tip ball it, whatever, that happens.
Exactly.
And from that one player, he's all over the place. Mike says, okay, y'all want to play this game? We're going to run the ball down your throat. It wasn't 2-3 plays later. He out of the game. So,
man,
it's just showing that this team, what really excites me is that this team, in years past, when this team is in this position, you're in control of your own fate. Just win this game and you can win it. You can do this. They had 10 to come up short. But this year, they did not come up short.
Yes, facts. And I love that you said that because the last few years, and that's really what we always just wanted, just as a team, as an organization, just wanting to be able to control our own destiny. And we saw that talk a lot within this past week of us being able to But of course, before the win, us being able to be able to take the number 2 seed and just, like, and really a full circle moment as well with the theme presented by Mike McCarthy early in the season with Carpe Omnia.
Carpe Omnia. Talk about. I was thinking about that, but I forgot about it. Yep, Carpe Omnia.
Exactly, and right is the moment. Like, and it starts now. Like the guys have been saying all week. This game was a playoff game for these fellows. We saw Zach Martin talking about it. We saw Dak Prescott talking about McCarthy. Even said some things like you mentioned him having different plans for different players. Like, these guys went, and I'm glad for these guys went in here with the correct mentality, with the mindset
mentality. That's the key word, correct mentality.
Exactly.
Dak didn't even wear the NFC East Championship hat.
Exactly. He kept on that.
He told Aaron Andrews, he said, "Listen, we got bigger goals. I ain't putting on that bitch ass hat."
Right. No.
Like, these players are in a different mode. Like, D-Law, he's led one down, 4 to go, baby. Like,
what's up, Steve? How you doing?
Steven? What's up, everybody in the chat? Like, of course we gotta see, but this game, if I could print it out, this is exactly what you will want to see from your team going in the playoffs.
I agree.
Bring it all together. Do we have answers to these questions? Yes, we do.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, sis.
No, I think just saying, can we run the ball? Can we stop the run?
I would just want to get on next. We haven't talked about yet. The run game.
Can we get pressure? Right. Michael Parsons finally breaks his sack leading record and gets 14. We hadn't been getting sacks like that, but Dorrance Armstrong got a sack. Sam Williams. Let's not even forget Dante Fowler. I mean,
he showed up last week with a sack. Travis Fowler.
Fowler's off. He's flying off the chain.
Yeah, I love that he's getting. I'm glad he's getting reps earlier in the game. I just love that. It just seems to take a bit.
Has been doing that, Mickey, for the past few weeks. People haven't been paying attention. But Fowler and Sam Williams have been playing. People haven't been paying attention though. I've been paying attention. I'm like,
right. Even last week, I'm like, first couple plays, I'm like, wait a minute, Fowler before the second quarter. I'm a little confused right now, but him having just putting the pressure on the quarterback, and this week coming up with a sack in a big time moment, like that's what we always wanted. Like, we're not saying take away. And it's always like a domino effect, like not in the bad way, but of course we're saying putting Micah at outside linebacker or even off ball linebacker to kind of bring the other guys so they can get touches on end. Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, as we see. So now that we talked about that star. We talked about that about Fowler and Sam Williams getting more snaps and having more an effect on the game. And look what we've seen the past couple of weeks. And we saw last week Sam Williams with a tackle for loss. So
snaps been going up. Snaps are going up. I'm trying to pull up the snap count. But also talk about Damone Clark. Pretty much just had his game of the year.
Early on the game,
Damone Clark had his game of the year today.
Yes. Like, and I don't know if these guys just find like niches, maybe in division games, because Deron Bland always just seems to get interception against Washington. Clark's, I guess I'll say, one of his best games this year. But before this was the Washington game when we played them at home. We saw Clark just really everywhere around the ball when he was on the field. Like, we saw him making the tackle for loss. We saw him just jumping around out there, just kind of keeping an eye on the ball. Really just being kind of that nose, kind of really that nose hound for the ball. We've known him to be, even last year, and really, making an impact, and just seeing him kind of get back to form a little bit. Like you mentioned earlier, Star, really at the right time. Like, it's really the perfect time for these guys on offense and defense to really be clicking, really on all cylinders and understanding each other where each player is going to be on the field and being able to communicate with each other and just really being able to create, not only a great game plan, but like we talked about earlier, just having the mindset, just really uniting, as a team at the right time. And, I saw a tweet earlier about
at the right time.
Exactly. I saw a tweet earlier by Patrick No-C. He said that the defense is defensing as a defense. And I'm like, I know it's going to be funny, but that is so true. Like,
that's true.
They're all on one accord. It's fire. It's straight fire.
They for sure played as a team today.
What's up, Dylan? How you doing?
That's what we wanted to see, Can we play? I'm trying to bring up the defensive laws, but can we see them play as a team? Because, when we were versus the Giants, everybody was saying, like, it seems like it was more of like our defensive players making like this Herculean effort, over
Right.
the defense is like kind of really playing as one unit. But today, you saw the defense playing as one unit. And if y'all watch, y'all should watch Big Time Hank. Thank you, sir. 707. Y'all should watch Big Time Hank show on YouTube. He's had D-Law on there. He's had
I think he just had Jordan Lewis on this past week. I saw,
and they were talking about how, the losses and stuff like that really helped them as a defensive unit come together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, we knew that like we gotta play for one another, we gotta play as a team, because in the losses, that's what was happening. You know what I'm saying? So that's also huge for you. You see a cohesive unit. You see the guys playing as one.
Right.
And then in the running game on offense.
Let's talk about TP right quick.
What was the actual?
Doing his thing right quick.
Pull up. Can you pull up with the? What am I talking about? Pull up.
I got the box score up right quick.
Yeah. What was TP's?
Let me see.
Actual stat.
Actually, let me share the screen right quick. Yeah, like the way TP was running today, and we talked about before on previous shows, Star, about how, a TP even mentioning in one of his interviews about how he was, not having trouble, but that Washington is always kind of like an ice bath game where that front D line is tough. And granted, they did trade away their ends, but they do still have those two huge guys in the middle. And just seeing TP, and even that we were running him up the gut, and that he was getting success. That was something just different that we were seeing from TP. Talk about it a little bit. This is why I'll bring this up.
Yeah, I think you really saw. First of all, Tony has been. There's been games. The Buffalo game was one where you really saw him running hard. I think there's been a few games where you saw him really running hard. He was doing well over there at that specific game span. Shout out to Patrick Nosey Walker, where he talked about it. And it's basically like since the Carolina game, I want to say, because he ran well versus Carolina, versus Philly, versus the Giants. And then he was running well versus the Bills, but we stopped using him. Then he ran decently versus. He didn't have the best game versus the Dolphins, right? He was off, and then he was off versus the Lions. So for TP to come into this game, it is a huge confidence booster. But I did say this, and I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying that I put out on Twitter. I said Tony Pollard is looking like he looked in week 3 versus Arizona, and I said we also had 3 starters out then.
Ready for the NFL playoffs?
Dramatic
entrances? Check. Team of Destiny?
Check. But and I'm not saying one better than the other, but what I'm saying is that TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman, those guys are major skills.
Yeah.
Our offensive line depth. I'm at the point I'm completely comfortable.
Right.
I'm comfortable as can be.
For real though. Like the way the O-line was stepping up today, and not only in the running game but the pass game, like the pockets that Dak had able to get those plays off.
The pockets, the holes. They were clearing. We were running at will.
Correct.
If it wasn't for that one linebacker, I think his name was Kaliki Hudson, he had a few stops. But if it wasn't for him, I mean, Tony Pollard likely has a career day.
Right. As we saw, I just had a second ago, 17 carries for 70 yards. I don't know if we've seen him. I don't know what his highest yardage was this season, but
what was his average?
Let me see. Let me look it up.
Yeah, look up his average.
I'm trying to see if I can not have that ad come up, because that was wild. And even and not to change from Tony Pollard, but even seeing them, they had the ad from them. Even seeing them get Rico Dowdle in the mix, just seeing him having some birth plays as well. It was good to see that it wasn't necessarily, I would say, a 1-2 punch, because TP was definitely getting most of the carries, but just seeing that they was able to have an impact. You know, Tony Pollard having those big plays, and you see the average.
But yeah, it looks like Fowler and Sam Williams snap counts have gone up for sure. I mean, Sam Williams went from, what week is this? 7 snaps in week 16. Last week he had 16.
7? Wow.
Yeah, last week
crazy.
He had 16 snaps. Fowler went from 12 to 14. So he's pretty much been steady, but I think, you know why I think these guys are getting more snaps?
Yeah.
Is because, Micah, see, we have the solution, guys. So I want people to be on alert, because I know, shout out to Keystone, I don't know if he's watching, but as soon as we found out we playing the Packers, he sent me a picture of Aaron Jones, and he said, we better watch out for him, because Aaron Jones does always give us problems. But I said, y'all, we figured out the solution to teams who want to run on us.
Right, and what's crazy is Aaron Jones has really been having like an up and down year. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not he gets up for this game.
Right, but our solution to that problem is Micah Parsons in the middle. We figured out the problem. Like, if you want to sit up and say, I'm going to just run at y'all all day, you're not going to do that, because we now have a solution to the problem. That's the difference. We're not going to sit up there and we're not going to have another game where Micah's just going to stay at edge. But now, even if Micah plays at edge, he now knows how to stop the run at edge. Now we have our run packages where we have Chauncey Golston out there. We have Big Hank out there. Like,
and it was speaking of Big Hank, it was good to see him back out there, you know, getting some run, and hopefully, you know, and it's definitely good to, you know, see these guys kind of get revved up for the playoffs, because we definitely don't, you know, it was definitely, we wouldn't have wanted to see them take a game off, but of course, if it was necessary, you know, definitely take all necessary precautions. But, you know, not having that number 1 seed, you know, we're going to be going straight into the wild card weekend. So be able to get these guys, you know, still kind of going. Like we mentioned earlier, we don't see them. We didn't want to see them that late in the game, but, you know, like to be able to kind of get a chemistry going, like Star mentioned with the O line, no sacks, like, and really, I'm not gonna say no pressure. I haven't had a chance to look at the numbers yet, but just seeing the way that Dak was able to operate because of the O line, like, it's,
look at those stats, 31 of 36. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And just to answer the question from earlier, Tony Pollard averaged 4.1 yards. You know, his longest 12 yards. You know, as far as
honestly, I like this balance 17-19. I think that's a good balance. You know, I was never asking for Rico to have the same amount of carries, but I'm like more than 2.
Yeah. And I like Rico right at 50 yards too. Like I think I was listening to I think the Players Lounge or something like that. They were talking about just a combination of them, and I think one of them mentioned like Rico having maybe 20 to 30 yards, but I like Rico at 50 yards because he can have those burst yardage, and even seeing him almost have a touchdown like this, and just seeing that he can get going right there at the maybe sometimes at the goal line, or even within the red zone, within the 10-yard lines. Like, I want to see a little bit more Rico. I'm not mad at it, but I still want to see a little bit more Rico. I know he's getting back to the swing of things. He is coming back from injury, so hopefully, you know, he's good to go. Hopefully, you know, he did get some run. And like I said, I'm just glad to see that the run game, you know, is definitely like you mentioned earlier with CeeDee Lamb, you know, kind of switching up a little bit. Turpin get some carries. Even, I mean, I don't know if I saw it with my eyes, but seeing Cooks, you know, obviously getting a carry for a few yards, you know, just seeing them kind of implement just a different side of offense that unfortunately we don't get to see all the time. But hopefully now, you know, hey, playoffs is here, as we saw with the Washington, you know, doing their thing. Granted, they didn't have anything to lose, but it's time to empty the bag now. Let's see what McCarthy, you know, has been.
Exactly.
Like you said, like he's been, you know, dropping little gems here and there, and like you said, we don't really see them. But now, you know, I want you to speak on a little, because, you know, as everyone knows, as everyone should know by now, you've been really, you know, on the McCarthy train, really, you know, really just leading. And I just want your thoughts on what you think, or not what you think he's going to, you know, show in the postseason, but just how excited we should be to see what McCarthy can bring, especially now that we see we're going to be facing the Packers first round. You know, we're going to be at home. We're going to have the advantage of communication. Just talk about it a little bit, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is exciting. For one, we got to give Mike McCarthy all the praise and the accolades, because he is the first coach in Cowboys history. Yes, over Tom Landry. Yes, over Jimmy Johnson. He's the first Cowboys coach in history to have three back-to-back 10-win seasons, 10-plus win seasons, and postseason, going to the postseason. I think in like their first 4 years or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So Mike McCarthy, and if you looked at Mike McCarthy's tenure in Green Bay, that's pretty much all he did was win until like the last couple of years he was there, which I think things just started falling apart in the organization, him and Aaron and all that type of stuff. But, you know, when the Green Bay Packers were hot and they kept sending our asses home, that was Mike McCarthy's team. So I think that we should be very excited because Mike was tested today, right? He was tested. And I like that Mike stayed with our offense. And he stayed with our offense. But I think the flow of the game also helped him, which I think is great, right? Because
he also matched aggressiveness as well. I like that as well. He started off.
He stayed with the run so that we could continue to establish physicality and dominance.
Yep.
Those things were happening, right? The blocked field goal and Dak interception, tipped interception. That could have made Mike McCarthy really shrink back. But he did not shrink back because he learned from his previous experiences early in the year. You play not to lose, you lose.
Right.
So shout out to Mike McCarthy because I think he did a phenomenal job. I think shout out to because he's established a winning culture as a Dallas Cowboys head coach. I don't care what you say. There's no way in hell you say Jason Garrett is better than Mike McCarthy. Just stop.
He really has.
Just cut that out. And there are not many coaches in the NFL that you can say is better than Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is like number 12 in wins in NFL history as a head coach.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So
it's crazy because as of last week and the week before, I still seen comments and people were just going crazy. Oh, Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. How he plays in the postseason will determine his head coaching. Like, come on, y'all. Like,
listen, I'm not gonna say I put out and on Twitter and I said, listen, as much as it pains me to say because I love Mike, I love Big Mike. I put out my series why Mike McCarthy is taking us to the Super Bowl. I did all of that.
I did see that.
I love Mike McCarthy. I believe in Mike McCarthy. I've done a deep dive into Mike McCarthy to say why I love him, why I support him, why I think he's a great head coach. But I said, if we end up getting first round or second round exited or say we lost today, you have to consider some things because it's like, Mike, we brought you here to have these boys ready for the postseason. So if we come to the postseason and we fall apart, that's a reflection on you, buddy. Like, you can't blame the front office. You can't blame the players. I have to blame you because if we lose in the postseason, that means that you and Dan Quinn got out steam because we know our talent is up there with the rest of the league, the best in the league.
Right.
We know our talent is up there.
Right, and just like Tyrone said, to add on to your list of shout out to you and Big Show, no excuses. That's really the thing we got from it. Like Tyrone said, they control the field too. So, like you said, they got the coaches, they got the players, and now you have another layer added to it. You got home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? So now, what are you going to do? Like you were saying, Star. Like now, so now what are you going to do? Like everything. Not saying everything laid his way because and that's one thing I kind of took from this game and really from the season. Our boys just, we kind of talk about these guys facing adversity and how well it does for their mentality and also, really for the morality of the locker room as well. Like you mentioned earlier about the defense kind of getting closer over the losses and really just the team, the organization in itself kind of joined together. Everyone having Dak's back this season. With them showing support not only on the field.
Talk about it. They had a lot of support, and I think that's fuel because it just kept making the bond closer and closer because
exactly.
It's one thing this is my brother, blah, blah, blah. But to go on your own platforms and to continue to speak, not just Micah, but D-Law, Hank, you have been doing that. Brandon Cooks have been doing that. Stephon Gilmore. Right. You had Jerry. Jerry. Like,
right. When you have Jerry Jones talking about something, Dak is going to be.
You have
Stephen Jones and Stephen Jones.
Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. When you have Dak, I think Dak could feel from everybody, from the fans, from his players, from the front office, that they really believed in. They really believe in him, and because of that, that helped Dak's play. I think, plus having Mike in his ear, plus now Dak's gonna be his dad and stuff like that. I think all of that, factored into him pretty much putting out his best season.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Him pretty much putting out the best season of his life. You know what I'm saying?
And also not only helping his on-field confidence, but also, I mean, as a human, it helps him to kind of be able to breathe, be able to relax. Like, okay, hey, these dudes got my back. The owner of who I'm sure they're not buddy now, but who he's had contentious. I don't say contentious.
Who tried to sabotage? You can say it. He tried to sabotage the season.
He didn't the first time. He almost won the pussyfoot around the second time. Like he didn't have the full support of the organization. So now, and of course the players supported them, and now seeing them, go for Dak on Twitter, on the platforms, in the interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not hiding it anymore. This is our quarterback. We like Ferguson said, we ready to run through a wall for you. Dak.
Exactly. They're like, this is our quarterback. It's just complete belief.
Right.
And I think that's why you just see it, because the team believes. They don't even flinch. It was when Dak threw that interception last week, the defense didn't even flinch. They wasn't like, they were just like, all right, our turn next. Because they know, they trust.
You've seen that in the previous week, Star. You've seen even with the so-called, and I'm not even gonna say so-called, even with this gauntlet schedule, because it was definitely some playoff team in this mix. But even with this schedule, like you didn't see starting with the Eagles, you didn't see them flinch. And even back when they lost Week 9 against the Eagles, you saw confidence coming out of that game. You saw confidence coming out of the game with Miami. Like, these guys have. And that's what we talked about earlier about them going through adversity. Like, these guys have been through it. Like, whether they're fans,
a lot of adversity,
whether media want to admit it or not, these guys have been through it. So what you guys doing at them now, it's nothing for these guys. It's nothing now.
That's the key point. What you throw at them now, and that's what you love to hear. Like, you can throw whatever you want to me now. I'm ready, and our players know we are ready. Line them up, and that's what you got to have from your team. Line them up. Line them up. We're not going to let the Mickey Mouse schemes and all this stuff beat us anymore. We know who we are.
Right.
We know that our talent is on par with any team in the league. We can beat any team in the league. It's all about. And they said that on the Big Time Hank show, him and Jordan Lewis, they were like, listen, we know that if we go in and play our best, if everybody's playing our best brand of football, it's going to be a blowout. We are the team. If everybody shows up today, we are going to blow you out. The game's not going to be close. That's who we are. That's who we've established ourselves through this entire season. Honestly, we established it still last season, but this season we've just established it. So it's all about our players seeming like they're all on one accord. Everybody knows the main goal, the main focus. It is to win the Super Bowl. Not just go to the Super Bowl, but to win.
Exactly. I'm just going to piggyback off you. Like you said, everyone, and really from the start of the season, from camp going in, everyone, we just saw that the relationship between these guys when they went on the trip with Dak down to Atlanta. Them spending off-field time, but even to them flying with Brandon. Brandon,
I forgot about Atlanta. Everything,
right. Like these guys work. Right, exactly. And building that chemistry on the field and off the field as well. Like these guys have personal relationship. I was listening to Zach Martin's. I think his phone call the other day saying how some guys have I guess quote unquote romances on the team. But he even said like the tight ends are really tight. They're really close. So of course, Ferguson and Hendershot, they have a close relationship. He mentioned the guys in the O-line room. They have some tight relationships still there. So not only are they able to build the chemistry from working together, but when you spend that like Schottenheimer said, when you spend that much time together with these guys, you're kind of automatically building. And when you're friends with these guys, like even they mentioned in some of these radio shows this past week, yeah, and you're friends with some of these guys, but or you may just go by high and by in passing, but when you really forge that kind of friendship with these guys, you want to be there for them. They want to be at Jordan Lewis's door saying, "Hey, man, stay in touch with us. You still on this team? Like we still riding for you," and that builds their confidence.
Yeah.
Not only just on the field and off the field, they know that they have each other's backs, and that like you said, they just ready to show
the world. They ready to show the NFL because nobody's expecting the Cowboys to win. Nobody's expecting us to win. Like everybody has been calling in. It's gonna be the Ravens. The Super Bowl is gonna be Ravens versus 49ers. Ravens versus 49ers. That's what they said at the beginning of the season. That's what everybody still believes. It's gonna be Ravens versus the 49ers. But we're gonna see. And our team, you have a chance to prove. You have a chance to disprove everybody's thoughts and feelings and narratives about you. You have the chance, and I appreciate the Cowboys showing up today to do just that. And that's what you want to see. Like I said, it just was what we needed to see, what we wanted to see from our team going this postseason.
Right.
And as big game James and I said, yes, the Packers are a talented young team. Jordan Love is putting it together, right? He is putting it together. This is a very good young scrappy team.
Yeah.
But Jordan Love is not Aaron Rodgers. That is not the Packers defense from 2016 or 2014. Those are not the weapons. They don't have Devontae Adams. Like, these are a bunch of young guys who are trying to build and assign who they are.
Yep.
Like, the playing field is level. We don't have to go through Tom Brady. We don't have to go through Aaron Rodgers. We don't have to go through Drew Brees. We don't have to go through those guys.
I'm with you.
The playing field is level. That's why we said, like, really this year, barring catastrophic injury or some horrendous call by a ref or something.
Right, exactly.
This is the year. This is the year to seize everything and do it all, and to establish yourselves as we're now the mid
one of the teams. Yeah, one of the teams to beat. Right, I feel you. I feel you on that start. I 100% feel you on that. Exactly.
We're the team to beat. And
I think I seen J Tuck tweet out earlier. I think he put a video saying like, "Hey, like let's make it hard to play at AT&T Stadium. Like let's make that place a place that players don't want to go to."
Did you hear the stadium in Washington? That was a freaking home game. But I'm like, I think the fans gonna show.
I didn't hear it get loud until the second quarter when I think after Washington got that turnover and they were about to score, and then all of a sudden they wanted to get loud when we had the ball. I'm like, oh, so y'all are in the building, because it seemed like it was mostly Cowboys.
I hear them at all.
I seen one of the beat writers report that I think it was like 80% Cowboys fans there. So they always turn out.
Show up. They're gonna travel. If we get to the NFC Championship, that game is gonna be crazy. Like, don't worry about it. But it ain't about the fans or none of that stuff. It's about the team. And first of all, I'm glad to see that our offense look just like at home. We can hear Dak's cadence. We're doing the motion. We're doing all of that stuff. That's what we wanted to see as well. Can Dak have his control at home like he does away? And today he proved, yes, I can. Yeah. But even so, you're at home. Like, you do have something to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of who you played, if a team was easier or whatever, regardless of the team you played.
No, I feel you, because this is an NFL team. Like everyone said, everybody got to line up every week. I mean,
it's hard to win in the NFL.
We saw the early window. Like, if you don't come prepared, if you're mistakes. What's crazy, I'm glad you said that, Star. Mistakes can make changes in the game. As we saw with the Jags, they were making bad mistakes. They were having bad turnovers. We had an early bad turnover. We had 2 turnovers. I think 2 turnovers in the game. A block punt, essentially, which almost ran back for a score. You know what I'm saying? Which they were able to capitalize on. But I'm just saying, like, the point is, like, those mistakes that could have easily, just stacked up. That could have easily just been a butterfly effect. You know what I'm saying? So like everyone says, everyone has to line up every week, and like any given Sunday is a real thing, as we saw in the early window. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, granted, we can go in thinking that should have been an easier win, but us going through adversity in the game early, and it's showing the boys were able to stick it out and overcome the adversity, but also to be able to continue to score points, continue to get back to where they were kind of, you know, they did have some drive that didn't go the way that we especially wanted, but for them to be able to still have drive, you know, go to Brandon Cooks, you know, down the field, be able to get the CD Lamb still involved. Like
Josh Allen has already thrown 2 interceptions.
Wow. Yeah, and Josh Allen faction.
No, shut up, Dan Orlovsky. He is not.
Woo, look, that's the number 1 fan, ain't it? I wonder what he's saying right now. Mr. What? Josh Allen can
also
get back
throwing
to
interceptions.
MVP.
Tua also throwing interceptions, so but whatever.
Wow, it's
we'll see what happens, but I think it's just we are just in a unless was there something else, because I was like we can wrap up unless there was another topic you wanted to talk about just before we wrap up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, we can close out on just, you know, because we definitely come back later this week with our show going.
Yeah, we're gonna do our show again because we're gonna have to preview the Packers. We're gonna have to figure out, we don't know when we play them. Could be Sunday night, could be Monday.
Right.
Last year they put us in whatever. It's gonna be prime time. We know whatever it is. So it's going to be Sunday night or
Monday night.
I think they do them on Saturday as well. So it could be Saturday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. So.
Yeah, I guess one thing I'll you know, before we get off here, just one thing I want to say is that, you know, I definitely want the Cowboys to, you know, take into, we do have a home. I'm glad they got the home field advantage. You know, 2 possible home games. You know, say against opponents that, you know, what I'll say, one thing not saying that makes you afraid of an opponent, but these are uncommon opponents. So one thing I want these guys to go into this game with, or, you know, kind of game playing this week is how. You know, we did play them last year, but you know, Jordan Love is growing. He's having a better year this year. Like you said, he's connecting with his receivers. The defense is, you know, they do get turnovers every now and then, but like Star said, they're not, you know, a defense that's, you know, going to scare us or anything like that. But just one thing I want this team to take into account is that it's an uncommon opponent. You know, last year we kind of got you know, kind of in early games when we did play the, you know, teams like the Texans or like Tennessee, you know, we kind of got caught off guard, but these teams play different, you know, when they're in their own house. So that does, you know, take that for granted, you know, or take that how you will. But I just want, you know, these guys kind of go into this game, you know, making it play your game. Don't try to, just because it's an uncommon opponent, don't try to, you know, trying to gravitate, you know, to what they do.
Exactly. Or you need to go in there and you need to play your game and you need to dominate, because at the end of the day, we're the better team.
Right.
Like, we're the better team. Now, can we get got by them? Yeah. Everybody can get got by any team.
Right.
But are we a better team than the Green Bay Packers? Yes. We are a better team than the Green Bay Packers. But it's all about going and showing. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you keep going.
No, that's 100%. You know, I mean, I'm sure everyone's thinking the same. It's just like, you know, don't get got. Like, I mean, look, that's really the, you know, what you could take from this week going into this game, and even going forward, you know, going further down the line in the playoffs, because you're going to be, you know, seeing something that you have seen before, but, you know, you're going against a team that you haven't seen this year. Like you say, don't get got. Don't come in sleeping. Don't, you know, play your game, but as well come in prepared. You know, don't keep that same mindset. It's a playoff game. Yep. You know, come in the same way.
Come in prepared. Come in humble. And come in focused. That's what today I saw discipline. We only had like 1 or 2 penalties.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I thought of it earlier, but we definitely talk about the penalties. Like, not saying we had to talk about it, but just saying that, yeah, they definitely
we played disciplined football today on the road.
Most definitely.
I think we just have to. You just got to go in and you got to play focused, just like they've been doing. Keep the main thing. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. And that's up to Mike McCarthy to ensure that his team is not getting too high and not getting too low.
Exactly.
Focus on your opponent. Focus on beating the team in front of you. Then the next week, focus on beating that team. That's what you got to do. You got, just like every year, you can't be looking all ahead and look at the opponent in front of you. Don't overlook any opponent, regardless of their record. Because all of these teams are going to play their very best as well, because this is the playoff. This is play well or go home. So as long as they keep that mindset, I think we will be where we want to be. As long as we keep that mindset, we should be where we want to be come February. That's my honest opinion.
100%. I definitely agree with you. Like you said, if they just continue to play their standard football, if they, like you said, them playing disciplined football today, them having, just real quick, because I still have it pulled up. You see just how they looked as far as penalty, just to get the number. Yeah, 2 penalties for 20 yards. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Star. Only 2 penalties the whole entire game. That's definitely an improvement. That's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Yeah, I mean, my final word is shout out to Boss Cowboys, final word. But my last thing I would say is that I love this team, and we got a real shot here, guys. And I think the best thing that we can do now is just spread positivity. Don't let the Romo era PTSD get you down and cause you to be negative and not believe in your team, because we're fans. At the end of the day, do exactly what Mickey said, Jay Tuck said. Go, if you have the money, go support your team. If you can't support them at AT&T, have parties. Do whatever, but support your team, fully believe in your team, rep your team. Right,
and show them that, like, hey, we have Twitter now. Hey, active player, show them how much you are supporting them.
Exactly. Send positive vibes, send love to your team, because they need it. You know what I'm saying? Positive vibes, positive energy, all of that stuff matters. This is not the time to be getting first round and we suck and this and that. Like, stay believing in your team, because if I know that may sound like quack science, but it's not. It really goes a long way. Positivity goes a long way. Believing in your team goes a long way.
Yeah, like McCarthy said in his post game conference, like, look, don't feed into no narrative. Like, he even said, like, I'm not even gonna look into the whole story y'all made of it last year. Us going,
because y'all made it a story last year, and the game was too emotional. It was too emotional. Like, now it don't matter. We're playing. I don't care. Like, play who's in front of you and beat them like we know you can. And y'all just gotta continue to push that to the team. Like Nikki said, they're on Twitter. They see what we say. So push positive vibes and, like, go out and support. If you can go to a game, I went to a game this year. I loved it. It was epic. I had a great time. I went to the Seahawks game. It was live. It was high energy. There was highs and lows, but ultimately, after that game, then Dak can hear in his press conference, MVP, like,
exactly.
Do it.
They say crowd noise is a factor. No matter how anyone puts it, crowd noise is a factor. And you mentioned earlier, Star, with today, with them being in Washington, hey, the crowd was on yelling defense when the Washington
starts
in a row. Exactly. Because the crowd was a difference in their stadium, y'all. So like she said, if y'all got the means, you know what I'm saying, get out there and support our team, because like you said, it goes a long way. Them taking daps from the fans on the sidelines. Hey,
it means a lot to them. Yeah, it means a lot to them. So go out, support the team, believe in your team, because the team needs it.
Right.
And I think that should be it. I think love and appreciate everybody in the chat. Please make sure y'all like the video. Please make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channels if y'all haven't already. Please donate to our channels. Y'all see our cash apps right there on the screen.
We appreciate everybody in the building coming through. Post game, just one of our, we just wanted to give our reaction. Last game of the season. Last week of the regular season. We got about 3-4 more games ago, y'all. Yeah. So we're looking for that week 20, 21 win in February. So just keep supporting our boys down the line. Keep supporting us as we, just try to get this content out to you guys. Continue to support the show every week. Hopefully we'll have more post-game reaction shows, but every week, Wednesday, with 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central Time. Starchasers, Girls Talk Ball. We gave you guys about an hour, hour 5 of some fire content. So just like she said, like Star said, hit the like button, hit the share button, retweet, just give us a share. Thank you everybody for your support coming through. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, y'all.
And follow me also on my social medias. The links are down below in my description.
Yes. Yeah, man. Everybody hit the share button, the like button. Follow us on all platforms, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
Y'all.